Yeah. Red Roof Dam, Vicksburg. Bad. Don't. Do us all a favor. Don't do it.
So it's doing it, right? It's recording? I'm back.
He's back. And let's twist that a little bit so we can get a little more view in there.
Now tell everybody where we're at.
We are at Jan's.
Jan's.
No power at Greasy Rick's in town. So it was Jan's, then Greasy Rick's, and then Jan's. So I think we have chosen wisely.
We've chosen wisely.
Yes. Yes.
You can't lose coming out to Jan's.
Wow. Of course, I don't know what's going on with my vans. I don't know what's going on with it. It's kind of weird. I mean, and it just happened this morning. And I think it has to do with one of the pulleys, because I can smell belt burning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any squealing?
Oh.
Did you hear any squealing or anything?
Yeah, squealing.
You might have a pulley that's gone bad.
Well, that's what I'm wondering if it's the compressor pulley, because that was replaced with clutch and a clutch plate. Let's see, I did the pulley, clutch plate, clutch. I didn't do the electromagnet because
Yeah.
but I think it's gapped too far. You know, separate from the magnet or the clutch and the back plate. So, because I was getting more squealing when I accelerated.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's what's going on with it. But it started this morning, and it died on me a couple of times.
The car died.
Yeah.
That don't sound right.
No,
That don't even sound related to pulleys.
well, that's the thing. Unless the resistance was so much that it caused the engine to stall. But I would think that the crank's gonna.
The only thing I could think that would work is if it had something to do with the alternator, and that alternator wasn't getting power.
Well, I'll tell you that the alternator. Sometimes when I start it up, the alternator hasn't kicked. It won't kick in immediately.
Yeah.
And then I'm just running on battery.
Yeah.
And it's only, just while I'm still there, and then all of a sudden the alternator will kick in, and you see the voltage regulator shoot up.
You might have a.
Could be a bad alternator.
Well, it could be. The regulator, which is in the alternator, could be going out. If it's doing stuff like that, it should immediately come on.
Well, it should. It should just come right on. But I don't know. What's the old? Well, it's paid off.
Yeah.
Until it just falls apart.
Drive it till it dies.
As long as they can get me to a fishing hole.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes.
My
Tell them the story.
My knee replacement.
And screw the hip crap. No one gives a shit. We want to know about the story.
So, I haven't been put under since the 8th grade.
Appendix.
Yep, my appendix in the 8th grade, which I still say it's a lost era because I missed a whole week of spring break.
Yeah, nowadays they localize, cut it out. You're back at work.
Yeah, that happened to Jeremy up in Rogers. I mean, he goes into the emergency room. They're like, "Yeah, it's your appendix. So what do we do?" Well, we're going to take you in there and take them out. Me, it was like
extract.
Me, when it was my appendix. I had to.
Well, they gutted you. You had a scar that long.
Yeah, I had to finally throw up some of Mom's homemade Concord grape juice, and then they take me to the doctor, That was on a Saturday too, because Mom and Dad had gone to grocery shop. They come in and I drank some of this and then threw it up, and then we cleaned it up, and I told Mary, don't say anything to Mom and Dad. Yeah, they.
Because you wasted it.
Well, no, I just didn't want them. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't. I mean, the screen door opens. Dad puts his foot on the floor in the living room with some groceries in his hands, and Mary immediately goes, "Joe threw up."
Of course.
Little shit. And
Diane wouldn't have said anything because
No.
she wouldn't have cared.
yeah, she'd have said, "Well, you're gonna die."
Yeah.
So I won't say anything.
Just don't get in the way of my boyfriend.
Yeah. And so that episode, Mom and Dad come in, they get, they find out what's going on and check me, and I'm probably had a fever. And they take me to Vandenmark's office. He meets us at his doctor's office. That's how it was back in the day.
Right.
We go in there, and he, I have to take my pants off, my underwear and stuff, and he lays me, puts me down on the table, and then puts on this condom on his finger and dips it into KY, I guess.
Yeah, KY or axle grease.
Yep. And he's feeling around. I'm like, oh, that was painful. And he says, yep. He says, you've got an infected, what you call it? I can't even think of the name of it.
Would be appendix.
Yeah, appendix.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
Just check it.
Yeah, and he said the way it's swollen, he says we need to get him to the hospital now.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital, got my appendix taken out, and I was there for 5 days.
I remember the scar.
Recover. Oh yeah.
Long.
Well, that scars.
I was this tall.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, geez, it got it.
Well, it's at least this long.
Yeah.
And but
Wasn't that 12 stitches?
no, it's more than that.
Was it more than that?
Yeah, but the thing is after, that was all done, I got to come home. It wasn't 5 days. I think it was like 3 days. And I got to come home. It was still spring break. And I guess it was not the day I got home, but the next day, I went out and rode my bicycle a little bit. And I come back in, and there's blood on my, bandage. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? So Ted comes in to visit, and I think it was Mary again. Ted, look at this, And he opens it up and he says, oh, you split the stitches. Of course, were the stitches still there? They might not even been there. Anyhow, I had split the scar open or whatever. That's why it looks so wide, And so Ted's, scares the crap out of me. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to go back in. They're gonna have to fix that, sew it up more, and stuff like that. And I swear, I laid on the couch all day and all night. I don't think I even moved, and I didn't have to go in. So whatever. So that was my first time to be put under, and then this time, you'll appreciate this. I told you about my doctor being a Boy Scout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes in to say hi, and he's in his, he's got his safety stuff on, because I'm sure it's like, oh God, it's all over me. But he come in and he sat down. So, okay, how you feeling about this? I'm like, I don't know, never done this before.
Yeah.
And I says, but I says, humor me. I says, quote the first 2 sentences of the Boy Scout oath. And he goes, the Boy Scout oath? And he says, I go, yeah. He goes, okay, you mean, on my honor, I will do my best? And I said, that's all I want to hear. he slaps me on the shoulder. Man, I appreciate that. I said, that's all I want to hear. On my honor, I will do my best.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about the God in my country and all that other crap. I just want you to say, on your honor, you will do your best.
That was good.
So I enjoyed that.
That was good. That is good. On my honor, I will do my best
Yep.
to avoid malpractice suit.
And then, of course, they've set me up with IVs and stuff like this, and then they transfer me onto a meat wagon
All right.
and haul me into, the operation area, and that room was big and spacious, and lots of light, obviously. And then there's other people dressed up like he is. They've got this PPE on with the mask and stuff like that, and it's the classic, they're talking to me and everything. I'm trying to gather everything, get all the, visual information I can get. And finally I wake up in my room.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And then Liz said when they were hauling me to recovery, I was talking like a, that's the thing I always worried about, I don't want to say anything stupid. Yeah, they've heard it all. They don't give a shit what you got to say. Oh, yeah, I've got the secret codes to this. And,
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was important, but it's not anymore. And it's like...
And like I told the nurses that were dealing with me, I'm like, if you're going to take advantage of me while I'm under,
get pictures.
Make it a happy ending.
Yeah.
Make it a happy ending. More coffee?
I'll take it.
All right.
Twist this just a little bit because it's got too much of you and not.
Oh, yeah, and it's not about me. It's about you.
I got to put it together, so yeah.
Yeah.
If I knew where her stuff was, I'd start another pot for them now. So,
Because I'm that kind of guy. To get one of those. I'll take this one. It's all wrinkled. Reused.
Now, see, that's classy.
Yeah. What we got there?
Lee and Perrins. Worcestershire sauce.
Is that like Grey Poupon
I would call it Grey Poupon in the Worcestershire sauce
world?
business, yep.
Okay. Well,
So let me continue.
you're in recovery now.
So I get, I'm in the room, I wake up, and then, of course, went back to sleep. I saw Liz, and Liz stayed the night with me that night, and
Oh, that was nice of her.
yeah, they had they had one of those chairs that fold out all the way flat, and
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff. But the and I understand why they do this now. I mean, as soon as I woke up, I went back to sleep, and then I woke up again, and then there's the therapist.
Schwark
Yep.
from Russia.
One's a occupational, and the other one's PT. And I like the occupational folks because they build stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, your arm needs to be this way and the hand up like that, and we're going to build this thing that keeps that like that, and you'll be that way for the rest of your life. So,
Or until Tuesday.
yeah.
Whichever comes
A-
first.
And so I'm like gathering my stuff, and they go, okay, we need to get you up. This is like a few hours afterwards, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's more about blood clotting
Oh, okay.
than anything else.
Sure,
I mean, it's about, getting you up and moving your blood in your legs and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm sure I was still under whatever pain reliever they'd given me because it didn't feel so bad. But they got me up, and they literally just walked me towards the wall in the room and then walked me back and then put me back in. That was it.
Okay.
And so I guess later it happened again, and I, got me up and walked me. And,
Yeah.
but it was, I stayed till the next day, and now these guys are serious, okay?
Okay, playtime's over.
Yeah. You ain't seen or felt anything like you're going to feel. And so they get me up, and they have me walk across the room, and then with the thing, and then they walk me back, and then they said, now we're going to walk you out into the hall, okay? And so we walk out there, and they're judging me how I'm doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was starting to get painful, but I got back in, and
More Vicodin, please.
yeah, so they laid off for a little bit, and they came back, and then they said, we got to show you how to go up and down stairs. We got to see if you can go up and down stairs. And I'm like, what? So they haul me down to, there's a little bit of a PT area, gym kind of thing.
Why do you do that?
Just because they don't know what I'm stepping into when I go home, because I was going home that day. And so they had to they had to verify that I could do it.
I got you.
And I went up the stairs and came down the stairs, and I don't know how pretty or ugly it was, but
Everybody wants to know, were you still in your gown?
oh yeah, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, matter of fact, I turned it around. So and they still weren't impressed. But
I've seen it all.
yeah. These folks that work in the medical field, I don't think so. I don't. Even though I like to bring this story up to Liz. When I was in the hospital when I got my appendix out, I shared the room with this guy, and I'm willing to say he was senior in high school or something like that. He broke his leg up on the upper part here, and he had a cast all the way down and everything. Okay, so we had a couple of young nurses at night that would come in and check and stuff like that, and pretty little hotties. Well, I can remember him coming in and standing around and giggling, and a lot of his friends came in, girls and stuff like this, and he was a handsome fellow. So middle of the night, one night, I'm awakened by sounds, curtains pulled, and I'm like, you got to be kidding!
There's a lot of slurping.
This nurse was just banging him. I'm like,
Okay.
what about me? Yeah, you're in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. No.
But anyhow, so that's how good. I'm sure he got out okay. But anyhow,
Happy ending.
Yeah, they're not impressed with anything. So anyhow, they got me. They established that I could go home. Basically, that's what that was. I mean, they could have made me stay another day.
Right.
But so I passed all that and everything, and around 4:00, they came in. All right, it's time to go, and
We need someone else in this room.
and that's the way it works, man. I mean, if you think about it, if they tried to stack people up to work on them to get them out the door, they don't need, all they need is confirmation that you can get up, get in your car, and after that, who are you?
Yeah.
And I get it, because you'd have that whole hospital stack there. You would be well, you probably wouldn't be, but it's amazing how many people have this kind of operation or something similar every single day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow,
That's like my cardiologist. He said, I do stents all day long.
Yeah, yeah,
I said, you want more? Come on down.
yeah. Here, I'll give you a package of them.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's the whole game, is get you out of there as soon as possible. And so we get downstairs. Liz gets the car. Man, I get into the car.
From a wheelchair? Okay.
And I get in the car, and I'm telling you, the entire time, there was no relief. There was no way I could sit. There was nothing I could do to get relief from this pain. Okay? So I just, grit my teeth and got home. When we got home, all I'm thinking about is how am I going to get out of this car and get in the house.
From the front, in the front, right?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
she pull up into the back?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was in the front.
In front.
So what I had Tia do, or Liz do, is pull up into the yard, pull up onto the sidewalk,
Right.
and then pull away so that the door will swing open this way.
Right.
And then Jeremy and Liz can help me get out,
Yeah.
which, I don't know how to explain the pain. There's no way. It was painful, extremely. I've never had that kind of pain before.
Well, and he told you too, evaluating where you were, that, doing double knee
Yeah.
is going to be equivalent to what you're enduring now.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that I had them both done,
Yeah.
because now I don't have to go back to that.
Looking back, I see that.
And, I found out a lot of people have had one and they're not going back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, people have said, oh my God, he went both of them at the same time. That's crazy. But,
Lots of people do it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, so we get to the house, open up the door. I'm explaining to Jeremy what we really need to do. Luckily, Liz had a belt for helping people up and stuff. I don't know where she got it, but she put that around Jeremy, and then he put that around me. And, it's like 1, 2, 3, and we get out, and it's like, oh my God.
Oh.
And, and he's having to bear a lot of the weight, but I get up and we basically take that first step, second step, third step into the house and right to the bedroom.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh God, I can't wait to get into that bed. Can't wait to get into that bed. I get into the bed. No relief. No relief. No matter where I rolled, what I did, there was no relief. And I told Liz, I says, now it's time for me to take some pain meds. Yeah. Well, it was oxycodone. Yeah. And so anyhow, got that, got in bed, took those, and they put me to sleep. And that was good. Only took one at a time. And it put me to sleep. That was a relief. And then, from that point on, it was like, just had to figure it out. I'm telling you, man.
2 weeks later and 100 oxycodone.
Yeah. Well, I got off of those as quick as possible because.
They're highly addictive.
Well, no, I'm not. I didn't want that, but they clog your colon up so bad.
Well, it's like pooping hay bales. Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, I've got an asshole that big around now. Jeez. I know they tell you all about it, but.
Get the pressure washer.
Yeah.
I need to drill in them.
I don't know if I told you this, but I've been diagnosed with age-related macular. Yeah, degeneration. Doctors, the optometrist saw something, which okay, whatever. Now I'm taking.
Do I need to study Braille now?
Yeah. Now I'm taking some kind of herbal deterrent. But, long story short, when I went to take that first poop, and it took days to get to it, okay? It took at least 3 days to do the first one, and it was like pushing this coffee cup through. I swear.
Ow.
Oh God. And thank goodness I have a nurse for a wife, because I ended up in the room with the toilet by the bed, right?
Right.
And at the beginning I'm thinking, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put that I'll walk into the bathroom and get it. Nah.
10 steps.
I barely could make 2 steps to it, and then I sit on this thing. Oh God! And I swear, I probably ripped open my retina, pushing so hard. I can't wait to go back to the doctor and say, yeah, wow, this thing's gone from that little bitty speck to, God almighty, that was painful. And now, I mean,
Square hay bale's one of the big round ones.
that shit sucks.
And the relief, once it discharges, it's like,
So there is a heaven on earth.
that's the best exit strategy I've ever come to.
And that was that way for at least 3 poops. And that's after that first one, I said I need to take the dirt.
Any Dosilex or
Yeah, Dosilex. Yeah, I'm drinking that stuff like coffee, and then I'm taking stool softeners, and that fixed it. Yeah, that fixed it. And now, just the thought of that happening to me is like, good God. So
now you get to a point, I don't want to fart.
Yeah, that shit's loose in there.
Honey,
But
will you go down and get me those diapers there?
yeah. So anyhow, what got me was the dreams,
Yeah.
and I remember the home health nurse that came in. We were talking about the medications and stuff, and she says, "No, I don't take any of that." She says it makes me hallucinate. The oxycodone.
Oxycodone?
Yeah. And I think I was experiencing some of that myself. Not hallucinations like colors and stuff like that. Not the good stuff.
Yeah, not mushroom level.
Yeah, not mushroom level. Just the thoughts and
But they were more vivid.
Well,
Did
yeah.
you see more vivid?
And I don't know if I wasn't getting enough sleep, and and I finally got to a point where I had enough sleep. I mean, I think I got to the point where I had enough sleep, and my body's telling me, you need to do something else than just lay there and sleep. And so I, how hey, it's I'm gonna roll all over on my side. Okay, that's comfortable, and you get an hour or 2 out of that, right? And then I lay on my back, and then I'll get a little bit out of that. And no, this is like my body's like, roll over on your side. Okay, so I roll over. 10 seconds later, it's like, get on your back. I'm on my back. Now roll over on the other side. And it was like, relief for seconds, not minutes.
Right.
Seconds. And I'm like back and forth, and I don't know if I was going crazy or what, but it was like, I can't sleep. I've slept everything out. I've caught up on my sleep.
Yeah.
And so, but anyhow,
Put you on the mower.
Is that your alarm clock? Oh, it must have been Jan. Jan's phone.
Oh, it's Jan's phone.
That must be an important call there.
Yeah.
But that was kind of weird. And I didn't want to watch any TV. I didn't want any input.
Wow.
I want no input. I just want to be quiet and just
pull the shades.
Yeah, I just it was kind of strange. So after I probably did the pain pills maybe 3 or 4 times at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And but pain was subsiding.
Yeah.
And things were getting a little bit better. I was starting to move a little more, And once I started doing that, I started setting little goals and stuff like that. I'm going to go to the toilet,
So you did.
with my chair. I mean,
Walking.
so yeah,
Your Pontiac. Thank you, man.
mega
You want
breakfast.
us to come help you carry that out?
I got some help.
Oh, look at you already got.
Look at that.
All right, thank you.
Yummy. Look at that. Thank you, Jan.
You're welcome. Let's see. Matt, hand me those 2 gravies, please.
So, set little goals.
Yeah, and
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. Jan, I don't mean to alarm you, but he wanted to come here,
And you didn't?
and I decided, well, let's just go to town this time.
I know, right?
Oh, okay, I'm just admitting to you.
Yeah, I'm on Jan's side.
I know you are.
I like the honesty.
Yeah, well, let's get that out. And maybe a higher power or something was saying that, no, that's the wrong idea. You need to go to Jan's because they knocked out all the power in town.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So yeah, higher power said, no, Jan's the thing today. Your little brother was right.
Yeah, he's been out since he got home yesterday from work. And still don't have no.
Oh, wow.
No kidding?
Yeah,
From what? Just a storm that came through?
I guess the storm. I can't believe I hadn't lost it. It's been bad up here.
Yeah, well, put in one of those cool generators and you'll never worry about it again.
I know. I'm just
Until you run out of gas.
Everybody so I can afford it.
There it is. Hey, extract it from them. I'm going to extract it from you.
You didn't say that,
All right, let's see how I want to do this. This is new.
Yep, you really went after it, didn't you?
I'm going to do this. Good yolky stuff. That on there. Yeah. Take this biscuit.
That's good gravy. Yummy.
Butter out. That's all right. I don't need it.
You got gravy.
Oh, this looks good. This is Jan's breakfast now. You want good country living food? Jan's. She doesn't mess around. And so
I made little goals and stuff, and then as the PT folks came by, they'd get me up, make me do stuff. The girl that was my PT person, she's from DeQueen, and I'd gotten to where I could swing my legs over the bed and stand up, and it was painful. It's like these chairs. Oh, I got to tell you this. Well, she'd get me up and make me do stuff, but she would not help me swing my legs back up. Nope, you're going to do that yourself.
do it yourself?
Yeah, and that was okay. I mean, I appreciated you got to be a little bit of tough love. But, so like I said, I got my goals, small goals, and started working it. And then as they were teaching me more exercises, what else you got to do? Lay in bed. I could lay in bed and do exercises. So I did a lot of exercises, because I don't know anything. All right. And so when they tell me that, you've got to get this stretched out, you better get it stretched out, because if you don't, the doctor's going to stretch it out for you. And I'm like, I don't want that. So anyhow, whatever they tell me, it scares the crap out of me. Oh, and let me just say this, and I'm going to look at the camera to say this. If you decide you're going to get both knees done, and you do what I did, which was to take the pre-exercise, the pre-strengthening of the muscles and stuff like that, I don't care what they tell you, how it's going to be or whatever. You don't know crap. And I don't care how much you think you know, you don't know crap. Because that pain is extreme. It is extreme.
I mean, you bit the bullet. Did it all at once. Boy, that's ballsy.
Well, I don't know how ballsy it is, but I do know that I like the fact now that I can bend over, look at something on the floor, bend back, and my knees don't lock.
Well,
Oh, God, that was extreme.
and that's the other thing too, is now that both of them have been done in their recovery, whereas one at a time, you're still gonna baby the other ones while that one you got worked on for recovery. So I think I'd be with you. I'd want to just, if both my knees were as bad as yours, just do them both, get them done.
And all I can tell you is how bad they are is what the nurse said, and then the doctor, when they looked at the x-rays and they go, oh, that's bad. And you know,
There was no nicety about it.
no, they said it the way it's supposed to be. You know, and when I think about how long I've been in pain with this, it's, been 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
And I just, it's like anything else. You get used to it and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, every once in a while it'd be extreme because I'd bent over or whatever. But now, like I said, I can bend over, nothing. And it feels weird in there. I mean, admit it's foreign,
Now, did they like put hinges in there or what?
No.
Any metal or anything?
No. When I went to see the doctor, and he's got all these examples and, hip and knee and stuff like that. I mean, I'm in there thinking, okay, you're going to chop my knees off, throw those in the trash, throw some new, made in Taiwan knees, or whatever.
I want black lines on the back of my legs. The new ones. Like I'm wearing nylon.
Yeah, can I get a 396 with that? When he showed me what was gonna happen, it's really they take the knee and the bottom half, whatever, they cut it. They cut a notch out of it, and then from there they put this thing in there and they glue it.
Glue it.
Yep, they glue it.
So it's not pinned in.
Nope, it's glued. And I asked him, I the first time I talked to him, I'm like, well, how long does it take for the glue to?
How much mileage do I get out of that glue?
How long does it take for the glue to set? Oh, I thought he said like 40 minutes, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's, what are you going to be doing in between time? Yeah, probably putting in a hip or something, that's what I'm thinking. But no, it's more like 10 minutes, okay, for this stuff to...
Hold the UV light over it?
Probably. And then, now I might have this backwards, but I think the one on the bottom is they're both glued in, but the one on the bottom, I don't remember exactly how all that goes, but anyhow. So when he's explaining that to me, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not going to cut my knees off and throw them in the trash. No. So I was okay with that.
Stop reading those tabloids.
But, so, I never saw that doctor again. No, we went up to, I had to have my staples
So
pulled.
that wasn't your surgeon. You never saw that doctor again.
Well, I saw him. I saw the Boy Scout he's the one that did it, but I didn't see him afterwards. I mean, his PA came in and talked to me. But we went up there to get the staples pulled, and they were really surprised how well it was healing and how well my extension was and stuff like that. And like I said, that's the key, is to get this stretched out, totally stretched out. And so the story I wanted to tell you about that is we went to Hot Springs to get that done, and coming back, I was feeling pretty cocky, I'm getting. That time I was still using my.
Like a true brain.
Yeah, I was still using my and so we're going through Glenwood, and I told Liz, I says, you've never been to that Italian restaurant. Let's go. I want you to try it, And so we went in there, and my walker, I'm walking in and everything, and I said, can we get a table? Sure. So we go to the table, and I go to sit down, and the chairs are about as low as this. And I realized as soon as I sat down, oh my God.
Never getting back up.
Oh. And I'm like, oh no. I have put myself in a position because I don't know if I'm going to get out of this chair. And so.
Especially after the pasta.
So, yeah, I know. So we ordered and ate, and the entire time all I can think about is how am I going to get out of this chair? How am I going to get out? Well, I got out.
Okay.
But I realized that I better watch that.
Yeah.
Don't get so cocky. And I have to admit that, as far as I'm concerned, Liz and I kind of figured a lot of things out. We have these two chairs that sit high. They sit about this high.
Okay.
And we bought them at IKEA in Minneapolis. And I've had them forever. And before this surgery, I was using them to go to the auctions, so I'd have a high chair to sit.
Oh. Okay.
And because, I couldn't stand a long time.
Right.
And those have come in extremely handy.
Uh-huh.
Matter of fact, they're in my car right now. And so that worked.
They're now auction chairs, right?
Yeah, and office, my hellhole chairs.
And now
So we got that figured out.
This is week 3, right? What? Week 3.
Going on 4.
4 week. Week 4.
As a matter of fact, today's Tuesday. It's 4 weeks today that I got discharged.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what they're all saying. And I'm like,
That's amazing recovery, yeah.
when's the shoe going to drop? But it's been quite an experience. I really don't ever want to do that again. And, I think about folks that have to have emergency, have an accident and stuff like that, and they're tore to pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Amazing story. Amazing journey.
One of the things that inspired me a little bit was Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Now he was
That was an amazing journey for him.
yeah, he was an extraordinary specimen, and I don't even, not even going to act like I measure up to him, but to have his back broken and then him come back from that, and his back was broken.
Yeah. And his wife was instrumental in helping him move forward. He almost gave up, according to the movie, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was That's amazing. So that was your inspiration.
I thought about him a few times.
Nice. I sat there looking at the damn line.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm being told I'm coming along real well. Of course, my PT guy, he still sticks it to me. He's a little more gentle yesterday, but boy, I know this side swelled up a little bit, but that's going to happen because you're ripping all that scar tissue.
All right.
Jan, this is amazing.
Thank you, man.
Oh, you're not talking to me because the gods are on your side.
Coffee first.
Thank you, Jan. But now I'm running into folks that, oh yeah, I had it done and blah blah blah. When we were at the auction, this lady, I saw these guys the folks that serve the food. They're a great couple. This lady makes like 500 fried pies and sells them every time. Sells out.
Lord.
And she makes great fried pies, and then she makes up a little dish because folks don't want to get away from the auction. But I was telling them,
Get the system down.
yeah, I told them, I was telling them, oh well, we hadn't seen you in a while. I'm like, yeah, I had both my knees done, and they're like, oh my goodness. Well, this lady walks up because Liz is there with me. This lady walks up and says, yeah, I had mine done too, and the doctor screwed this leg up, and stuff like this. I'm like, really? Same doctor?
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, well...
You should have asked her, well, did you go in on Wednesday? So I went in on Tuesday, and he was dynamite.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, I'm happy. I can't help you.
Sucks for you, but hey, I'm walking pretty good. Yeah. So now, gotta think about fishing.
Where are you fishing at?
And whatever floats my boat.
Ah.
As long as it's level and not terraining and,
Yeah. So, on the Little Missouri, where'd you fish at? Was it up closer to the dam?
Yeah, there's a couple of, there's several pull-offs, and one of them, just pull off, walk right down there. It's very calm area, just a couple of wide open spots there. I just threw a chair, bend up, perch.
Well,
steps down to it. I found another place, Karen and I were looking for Tokyo. And now, I didn't see it, but Karen said, yeah, I think that house is Tokyo. But there's a little behind, in the back of the diamond mine is Little Missouri too.
Yep.
Little area out there that I got to throw a hook in to see what's out there. I haven't done that one yet. Let's see. I went to Okie Landing, which is between Tollett
Oh, yeah.
and Saratoga.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a slough out of the Millwood Lake. Caught a couple of catfish out of there.
Um,
There's a little dock, and I just put a chair there.
you should go down to Cotton Shed.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, they got a nice dock and place to fish and stuff.
And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not sports fishing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just I just want to drop a bobber in and maybe eat a sandwich and. Good.
Looking for the simple things.
It's simple. Yeah, that's it. Simple. I'm not into nothing more than that. It's the journey. It's not the passion. You were saying something about Travis on the way over here.
I just popped in my mind. Hadn't heard from him or.
Oh, well, I thought you said you wanted to save it for the video.
Oh, Travis? No, all this stuff about the knee operations, what I was thinking.
Like, okay. What did he call you? He's butt dialed me a couple times. Hello? Well, yeah, he butt dialed me.
Las Vegas. What does he do there?
I don't know what he does there. I want to say that he worked for the state government, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure what he's doing now. I've been so out of touch with him. I haven't talked to him. The last time I talked to him was before he and his wife got married. That's been a few years now. I lost touch with him. Connie calls me once in a while, but I haven't heard from Anita or Travis.
Yeah, we were telling some friends about Connie and dang, what was first husband's name? First name?
Oh, Brian.
Brian, yeah. You know how who was it we were talking to? I don't recall. But we had moved to St. Paul. Well, we were living in Grand Forks, and they had moved from California to Cloquet. And he got that manager's job at the Black Bear Casino, the restaurant and the bar. And so we bebopped over there with a couple of bottles of wine and went to visit and meet Brian and stuff like that, and that was a great trip. But then then we went to Texas, and then we moved to St. Paul, and Duluth is right up the road from us there, and so we'd go up and visit him because he had bought a restaurant.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that restaurant?
I don't think I ever got to eat there, but I knew that when we were up there visiting you guys.
That was a cool restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, it overlooked the harbor, Duluth Harbor, and every table had a pair of binoculars so that you could, look out on, look at the ships and stuff like that.
Well, I assume he still owns that, right?
No, he was leasing it, and it got bought, and they put condos there instead. Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. So I don't know, whatever happened there, but anyhow, while we were living there, this is what we were telling this friend of ours that she called us one time. That's when we first weren't living in St. Paul. We were living in an apartment in Cottage Grove, and so she called and said, "I've got to go down to Rochester to the Mayo Clinic, and they want to see Cassandra. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And she said, I want to know if you guys would like to go along with me and watch the girls. And I'm like, sure, why not? And so she came down, and I decided, well, let's just order pizza, and had a couple of pizzas delivered. And I don't know, kind of like Diane, could eat everything and never gain an ounce.
No,
But she,
that about that.
I'm telling you, we had some pizza and stuff like that, and we were done. She finished the pizza.
Connie?
Connie did. Then we found out later she was pregnant.
So that would have been with
Emily.
Emily.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I believe Emily. Yeah. But anyhow, we went on down to the Mayo Clinic, and we had the two girls with us, and she had Cassandra, and she says, "Okay, I'm gonna go on in," and blah blah blah. We walked into this place, and those girls' eyes went this big. You know how kids are with a big, voluminous, room and stuff like that. They want to run. Those kids drove us crazy. I'm like, I can't keep up with them. That was a fun time. So.
Well, see, you had, you only had one girl, and the other boys, you could just slap the boys in the head and settle down.
Yeah.
These are a bunch of girls, and you just can't slap them like you can slap the boys down. So, yeah, that would be a challenge. Real paradigm shift.
My favorite thing about Cloquet, I mean, it's not a anything town. I mean, it's whatever. They had a gas station that was designed and built by Frank Lloyd Wright.
A gas station.
A gas station. You can look it up. It's in Cloquet.
Maybe his cash flow was running low.
No, he did. The way I understand the story is he did it for a friend of his.
Oh, okay.
And he, wasn't necessarily something he'd do, but for this friend, he did it for him and built this gas station, and it is unique.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
I mean, it's got the almost Art Deco look,
Yeah. And I love that style.
Oh yeah.
I love that style.
Yeah. Yeah.
The furniture. And, yeah, I love that style.
The Hanson House outside of Winston, between Winston and Douglas High. Friends of mine, the Hansons.
Okay.
You don't remember? Okay, all right. Well, buddy of mine in school, basically grew up with him, Mark Hanson. And I don't know if they had the house built or they just bought it, but that was a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
In Winston.
Mm-hmm. When you're heading out towards the high school, you come across Looking Glass Creek, the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And you're coming up to the college or to the high school. There's a house. As you just cross the bridge, there's an open field, and then there's this rock outcrop, big rock outcrop. House is built on that. Looks over the fields and stuff like that.
I know where you're talking.
Yeah.
I know where you're talking.
That's a Wright house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I spent a lot of time in that house. Right down to the furniture. The furniture was made by Wright. I don't know if he built that house. I mean, because he had a lot of associates to do stuff, but it was definitely a Wright house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that is very cool.
Huh.
But I didn't know it back in the day. I just thought, well, Eric and Inga were, they're from Denmark. They're, it's a European style house. I mean, you walk in and there's pencil nudes and stuff like that. It was just very European.
Right.
But yeah, but that's what I liked about Cloquet. I had to go by and look at that thing every time because it's like, wow, you know.
If it's still there.
Oh, it's in Cloquet?
Yes.
It ain't ever going anywhere because it's got to be a historical site by now.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I regret not doing while we lived up there, and we meant to do it a couple times, was there's a place called the House on the Rock, and it's like a collage of a house. This guy just
Sort of like the Winchester House. That's kind of a collage.
Yeah, it's just all kinds of stuff. I mean, and it's artfully done. And, it's a tourist trap now, but that was...
Did you hear? There was I was watching this YouTube video. You know, the Graceland house was going into foreclosure.
Yeah.
And I guess the granddaughter or the daughter knew nothing about this. I mean, it was some kind of scam. That's what it was. They were trying to foreclose on this property. Turns out that it was a big scam going on. That people can forge these documents and stuff like that. But why would you do something like that on such a well-known, popular place like the Graceland?
I've told you my Graceland story, right?
Which one?
Well, the first time we went to see Graceland was Paul and Carol Lee came down to visit. And I says, is there anything you guys would like to do? Yeah. We want to go see Graceland. I'm like, okay, never been there. Let's go give it a shot.
Okay.
So we went in there and, you sit in the parking lot. There's a parking lot. And then there's the trinket trade, and all this stuff. And they've got a couple of static displays of his airplanes and things of that nature. Then they load you up on a little cart and they take you across the road and drop you off at I don't know how it goes now, but that's how this was done. And they drop you off at the front door of the Graceland. And then you get up to the door and then you got a guide that, gets everybody ready. And basically said, when we go in, we're going to go through the foyer and then to the right is the living room. That's where we're going to stop for first stop. Okay, so I'm up there with Paul, and we're in the front, and we come in, make this turn, and it's roped off. Okay, and I stop, and I'm looking around and everything, and then it's roped off upstairs. That's where he died, and all this stuff, and they point that out to you. But when we first walked in, okay. Paul's standing next to me, and I just look around and went, oh, crap, it's just a house.
It's just a house.
Yeah, it's just a house.
You can't be saying that about Graceland.
I know, because as soon as I said that, some lady behind me said, what did he say? Shut up. Yeah, because there are people actually here to worship.
They want to see the clogged turd that was petrified and made a shrine of it.
All I got to say is, if that's what he died from, I know. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could die from that. Yeah, I feel sorry for him.
Serious hay bale.
He was quite a character. When you go down and look at the, all his little, man cave stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed 2 geese down there, and he was proficient in 2 different martial arts.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not just, and they don't give it to you.
No.
I don't care who you are. No. You want this, you're going to work just like everybody else did.
That's right.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's an honest assessment right there. And it actually raised my raised my feeling towards him. That
Yeah.
he was extremely talented in all different kinds of ways, and he deserved.
What I admired about Graceland, the house, is the kitchen, the modern, appliances and things like that for that time. It's just amazing. And then the room they rehearsed in, where the ceiling was all carpeted,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
walls were all carpeted, and that green blue shag, ugly, just ugly.
Yeah, but it was cool then.
It was a dead room, definitely a dead room.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, no, that was my Graceland thing.
yeah. Well, I think we went to Graceland with you and Liz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I like how they talked about the stove. Yep, this is where he made his favorite sandwich.
Sandwich.
Yep, peanut butter and banana and mayonnaise. Oh no, it's delicious. A matter of fact, when I was still in the Air Force and working with doing a part-time job with these guys, the old man, had come in and help a little bit, and his name was Joe, and he's the one that told me about the sandwiches. Oh yeah, Elvis eats those. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. And I says, what are they? And he says, it's peanut butter, banana, and mayonnaise sandwich. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
He says, but I like a piece of onion on it too. You got to try that. So I tried it, and I'm like, I like it. You could get addicted to it.
I guess.
Especially grilled.
And grilled?
Well, yeah. I mean, you put all this together, and then you make a grilled sandwich out of it. You grill both sides. Lots of butter. But
no wonder he was all clogged.
well, and back in those days, that
all those peanut butter sandwiches.
yeah, and I think about all the stuff he was involved with. The hip shaking and stuff. I'm sure that was where the pain pills came in.
Yeah.
But no, he was a highly talented gentleman.
And in his older age, he, gained a few pounds.
Yeah, and I hate to think how he lost them. All chemicals, I'm sure.
He should have had that spoon in his mouth. Dig out those
Put it in a little glass box, break for emergencies.
Roto-rooter spoon.
Oh, that had to have been a horrible way to die.
Well, I haven't ever read the full story about that. Was it constipation that caused it?
Yeah, it's impaction.
Aneurysm?
Well, I don't know about an aneurysm, but you can die from, impaction.
Yeah.
I mean, because your body's like, well, I can't do anymore, and I'm going to shut it down.
Well, I would have thought he had a doctor on standby, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and he killed him.
Yeah, well, oops. There goes my revenue source.
Yeah. And all he was doing was just letting him sleep.
Yeah. Well, sad state of affairs.
So now we did everything we could before the surgery, to have the place up and, kind of maintaining. And then when I got back, Jeremy did a bunch of stuff and mowed the grass and stuff, and that was okay. I mean, I appreciated him a lot. They did a ton for us, know. And so now, that storm that came in the other day tore everything up in the pool. God. I told Liz, I says, look, we've got to make this a lot simpler. We can't be putting crap in here anymore. I want you know, an umbrella there, umbrella here, and I don't want any tables down there. I don't want chairs. If somebody wants to come out in the sun, they can do it on the concrete, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Because it's just more stuff that I have to throw away.
Yeah.
Because I threw away a bunch of stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, so I've got to get it simpler. You know, it's, you know,
Minimalist.
yeah. I got to get to a minimalist, and it's not that I can't do it. Liz can't do it. She's just got to have stuff.
Well, yeah, and Karen, she doesn't go out in, you know, outside and work the outside like she used to. I mean, she used to always be outside, but she just can't do it now. So that puts a load on me, and I got so much that I need to do outside that it's like it just gets overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, I can see the future. Us having an estate auction and selling the place, and probably moving up Northwest Arkansas or get a condominium.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do anything anymore. Okay. And no, I'm coffeeed out.
What I need to do is what Joe, my neighbor Joe, across the street did. You know, he has a legion of guys. I think it's his son and grandson come over, you know, and does it. Because he's 90. Margaret's 98 years old. He's
Holy moly.
93.
That's the neighbors right across the road?
Yeah, right across the street.
Boy, they keep that place nice.
Oh yeah. Joe's all about that. He likes his property landscaped, and it looks beautiful. And then, of course, I've got Deb and Steve, who are just west of me, next house over. And, you know, she's out there pushing them more.
Yeah?
She lives out in the yard. You know, she's one of those gals.
Well, I got to admit,
Flex it.
Liz really stepped up. I mean, there wasn't anything I could do,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, even now she's like, all right, I'll take care of that. No, come on, let me have a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to get this back into, you know, the mode we had. So now with 5 dogs and 5 cats, she's doing the menagerie in the morning. What a nightmare. But it's kind of funny. She's a lot more loving than I am about it. I'm like, oh, shut up. Oh. And it's like, la la la, la 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 la, oh, I'll be there in a minute, la la la.
She'll get to the She ain't got there yet.
Yeah, actually I did it a couple days ago, and I think I'll wean her off of it. and see, me, okay, I'm just this way, all right? And I guess it's because I've pretty much always been a process guy. When I step into a situation, I look at the process.
Yeah.
I look, how'd this happen and what caused it? You know, I mean, it's just part of my nature of being an investigator and crap like that, you know? And
well, you and I are process people.
yeah. And
You know, we look at the process.
yeah, and you know, you can find the fault
Right.
if you look at it that way. So me, it's like before the operation, and this was before those 2 extra cats that somebody dumped on us, okay?
That's so sad.
Yeah, before the 2 extra cats, I hadn't let them in. I hadn't involved them yet, and I didn't want to until I got back, right? Well, unfortunately, the day that, you know, I'd showed Liz how I do it, those 2 decided, it's time to come in. Let's see what's going on in there, you know. So she got the whole full Monty, you know, and I, you know, I tried to warn her. I says that always prepare everything before you open that door.
Yeah.
I said, don't open the door because the cats don't care. They're going to jump all over everything, and they're getting in your way, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
You know. And the way I did it is I'll always set up the dogs. I get all the food, everything ready for them. But I was dealing with just 3 cats, and instead of the 2 extras. And like I said, I had a process. It worked good. It wasn't confusing. It didn't piss me off. I could just get it done. And I always started with feeding the 2 girls in the house, let them get their food, and then open the door. And then the 3 dogs are at the door. I can give them their food. The cats just, they just come in and jump up and start eating whatever's there,
Right.
And I'm telling you, I told Liz, I said, don't let any of these animals in because, let's just take Gus. Gus jumps up there. He wants to eat now. He don't care what you're doing.
Right.
And so he's in your way. I says, I can't deal with that frustration. So I says, so this is how I do it. When Liz got done, it's like, and I told her, I says, never leave the dog bowls outside overnight. And I says, make sure that you get those in the house before bedtime. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, that went in one ear and out the other because one morning she realized, oh God, I didn't get the bowls. What could be the worst?
You got to open the door.
And she opened the door and it's like, and now you got to fix the dog's food in front of the cats. Mm-hmm. And they're going to want to get into that and all. So anyhow, that's my thing. I'm a process guy, and I like a smooth process. And
I haven't made the supplement dog food for the dogs. I mean, we buy the Purina Balance from Walmart, and it's relatively nutritious. So I haven't made any of the food, and it has made my life easier. Because they're slimming down, especially Sophie because she has that hip issue going on. So she's slimmed down. Here's something I learned about Sophie. Couldn't figure out for years why you dig these holes. Now I know. She is a mole hunter. She smells that mole. She'll dig. And then I watched her. I was sitting on the deck and I watched her. She pulled this clump out and went over by the burn pile, and then she didn't have it. Well, I walked down there. It was a stinking mole.
Really?
So I picked up that mole. She just killed it. She doesn't eat it.
Yeah.
Tossed it on the burn pile, right? Well, later on, she went back to that same place. She's looking for that mole. She wanted to play with it, I guess. I go, oh, okay. So I walk down to the burn pile, pull the mold back off, drop it down on the ground. She's killing moles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you've torn the property all to pieces, but you're keeping the moles out. I guess that's a win.
That's I've got a digger too. That's Bandit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a hyperactive dog. Okay. I mean, that's just how he is. But he's digging holes everywhere, And
looking for moles.
I don't know. I don't think I have any moles out there, but he's still digging everywhere. And I'm like, stop digging.
Red is picking up on it now.
Oh yeah.
And she's Sophie's lost her collar. I can't find it. Karen says it's probably in one of those big old holes that she dug up. I'll find it with the mower if it's on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a mole hunter. And don't let a snake get in the yard. She will tear that thing all to pieces.
All I got to tell you, I'm not worried about snakes. With that many cats around, they're not going to even get near it.
Telling you. Oh, my. Well, I got to go visit. I have to have a consultation. Brian, OJ, the last time you had a colonoscopy? I said, I don't know, 10 plus, whatever years ago. We're going to order you a colonoscopy. Okay, so now I got to go and meet with. I said, call up old Ernstberger. Let him probe in my buttocks.
Yeah, he's not going to probe you. He's just going to write your prescription for you to poop everything out.
I don't know.
Hey,
Last time I was in and woke up, I found this little whatever, and I clicked it off, and here it is. Okay.
yeah,
Back in 5 years, that was 10 plus years ago.
let's see, my last one, I had 2 polyps.
Yeah, that's what it is, Paula.
Yeah, I had 2. And that's the first 2 I'd ever had. So, I mean, I'm getting close to another one. But this time, I'm going to let them put me out.
Well,
I would not do that. And Liz loves to brag on it. He doesn't even get the blah, blah, blah. I said, I like to watch. I want to watch this, You're shoving something up my ass. I'd kind of like to see what's up there. And
I'm not interested. Just put me out.
yeah, no, and a lot of people are that way. They don't really, But me, I don't know. I'm just weird.
I just go to YouTube.
But I found out from the last time I did it, a lot of doctors won't allow it. They want you under, But this one guy said, yeah, I'll do it. And there's just that last turn that it's uncomfortable. That's all, But he took it right up to the sphincter. There's the sphincter.
Yeah, and then Friday I got to go up to my cardiologist. He's doing a nuke test, which is, they give you a bottle of plutonium and
Yeah.
let you glow inside.
I had that done in Texarkana.
Yeah,
And I was going to get, I had the stress test done.
yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm dumb. I don't know what to expect. And I'm sitting there waiting, I got an IV there and they're just like shoving stuff in there and all this stuff. And I'm talking to the cardiologist and finally she goes, so you feel okay? And I'm like, yeah, feel just fine. Was that it? She said, yeah, stress test is over. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That's what I was worried about? I mean, because they always give, she explained, we always give you the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You get it and you fall on the floor and stuff like that. Okay, that's worst case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, it's like,
Brain drains out of your nose.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah, put me out.
Yeah, so my next one, I'm just going to, whatever, give me the juice and let's get this over with. And that's fine with me.
Well, I would assume that, I don't know what this consultation's all about. I don't think I had one last time.
Yeah, I never had a
We
consultation.
just said, we're going to put you out and we'll stick this up your butt. And
Oh, he's going to do it?
I don't think it's going to be Hernsberger this time.
I'd go to it. I would go to I went to Texarkana, whatever, colonostomy place because that's all they do. And I don't want a doctor doing it.
Well,
I don't want I don't want a doctor that doesn't do this all the time. I want guys that do it all the time to do it.
That's what Hernsberger does.
Oh, I thought he was a PA. Oh, he's not a general practitioner?
No.
What is he?
He's specialty in colonoscopies and all that other stuff.
I did not know that. I thought he was a GP.
Guys, need some more coffee?
No, I am
Thank you.
fine and dandy.
I like this chair.
Everybody does. They play seesaw in here.
Thanks.
I like this chair for sure. You can sit back, look at this guy, good old belly. This shirt defines my physique. Yeah, so I gotta do that today, and then Friday, gotta go back up to Hot Springs, do that. Hopefully all these blood-sucking, money-grubbing professionals will be done with me for a while.
Hey, do you like Vietnamese food?
Yeah.
They have a pho house up there, a pho house
Right. In Hot Springs.
in Hot Springs. I don't know what time you're thing is,
45,
when
9:45 in the morning.
they might be open on Friday. They used to be open every day, and we loved going up there and, well, let's have some fun, you know. And now it's like they're open on like Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
and Sunday maybe. So that don't help us any.
I haven't been to a Vietnamese restaurant since Salem.
Oh
I
yeah.
had a Vietnamese restaurant in Salem. They had a lot of different cultural restaurants in Salem, but yeah, it's the last time I've ever been Vietnamese. Good food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know what the dish is. I'll have that. What is it? I don't know. It tastes good.
I just like a
Could be
bowl of
bugs, I don't know.
you know, they come out with a bowl about this big, and it's got, I mean, they take their basically they take their chicken broth, and they infuse 5-spice in it, which is, it's a Asian spice, and that just makes it taste so good.
You know what we've been doing? We've been on it for about a month now. We've been doing this home chef.
Oh yeah, you told me you were going to do that.
And that's been working out pretty good. I mean, you know, because I've been comparing basically what it costs us to go grocery shopping versus this, and we're down to 2 servings. They provide us 2 serving meals, and Karen and Rebecca split that, and you know, I have the other one, but the price point's just about spot on. I mean, we're saving money doing that. And it's, you know, here's the ingredients. You get your sheet that tells you how to prepare it. And delicious. Stuff's delicious. Well, yeah, once in a while, you know, like, I haven't told the girls this, but there was a red pepper in one of the ingredients, and I cut it open, there was a little worm in there, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, I don't need to tell them that.
Nah. No, you don't have to.
Yeah, I didn't cook it, but, you know.
I think that's, you know, probably fits the standards.
Well, you know.
I mean, I remember in the day when somebody had told me about the standards for like payday candy bars disappeared one time. You know, I mean, that was my favorite candy bar, and it wasn't on the shelf anymore. I'm like, what in the world? You know, and come to find out that they weren't meeting the standard for rodent droppings in their food or in their candy bars, and I'm like,
The caramel takes care of that, and the salt, you know, kind of seasons it, you know, with peanuts.
yeah, and what do you think they were eating anyhow? Same stuff that you're putting in it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, but yeah, and I'm like, there's a standard? Oh yeah, you can't have like more than 3 droppings per ton or whatever. I don't know. Really? You got a whole warehouse making this stuff, and what? You got 5,000 rodents? They're just dropping it. But anyhow, yeah, I remember, I'm like, wow, there's standards on that stuff. Who would have thunk?
It's a candy bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids don't care. We eat dirt.
Yeah. How fast do you think we're going through those candy bars?
And that's when they made real candy bars, you know.
Yeah.
You know, nice, good candy bar. No, we don't get that anymore.
What a neighborhood we grew up in.
Remember that
The Schlotts lived across the street. Remember them? Freddie's grandparents? Freddie Schlott?
Yeah.
Okay, his grandparents. Carl and can't think of her name. And he was a C&H sugar distributor and a Hawaiian Punch distributor. And you could go into their garage, and they had cases of, 16-ounce cans of Hawaiian Punch. You didn't even have to ask; just get what you want, And this is how old those cans were. You had to use a pop top to open them up. They weren't, this was in the 60s. And then, you step outside one summer day and there's Valerie. Val out there, she's got a cotton candy machine. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. She had a cotton candy machine, and that's how she burned up all that sugar. Because he had stacks of C&H sugar bags. They were like 25-pound bags. And like one might have a little break in it or something like that, and they can't sell those.
Right.
And so she knew how to get rid of it. Just go out there with my cotton candy machine and make up all the cotton candy you can. And I mean, the whole town showed up,
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah.
We had a good neighborhood.
Yeah, we did. We really did.
Well, most of them were cops.
Yeah, there was Forney's. They lived around the corner, across from Terrence. Well, and then there was our cousin that lived up the.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any other cops.
I know there were a couple. I mean, and Dad was a commissioner.
Yeah.
Chief. Chief?
He was commissioner.
Commissioner.
Yeah, not chief of police.
He was commissioner.
He hired the chief of police.
Yeah. The
But
overseer.
yeah, I remember when he got that position. I don't know how they did it. You didn't get elected to this stuff. It's like, all right, Marvin. Okay, we're going to take the water department away from you. You're now police commissioner. I mean, okay, whatever. And I remember they put a cool looking sticker on there with police commissioner decal on the front window, and then they wanted to put a radio in his car.
Yeah.
And he's like, eh. That's when he bought that 1967 and a half Galaxy 500.
The red one.
Yeah, Ted talked him into it.
Of course.
A 2-door.
Yeah.
Yeah, a man with.
Black bucket seats.
Oh yeah.
Aftermarket air conditioning. Sweet.
No, it was a bench seat in the front.
What, bench?
Yeah, bench seat with an aftermarket air conditioner.
Yeah.
We were uptown, but he wasn't going to have him put a radio. I said, why not? Why don't you have him put? Well, back then the radios were this big. Well, it's going to take up everything, and I don't want it.
How many people I got to put in this car?
Yeah. Exactly what he did.
Remember when he bought that green Dodge Hornet?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was the last new car he bought.
Yeah. That was a sweet rig.
Yeah, I like that.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bought that, and then lost his job.
Yeah.
We had that when we went to Coquille, and we had to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were tough times.
Yeah.
They were tough times. And
We were living in a motel too in was it Newport or Coquille? No, Coos Bay.
who was?
We were. Remember that? Little motel rooms, Ted and Ev, Mark and Danny, and then us. Watch the Apollo landing from that motel room. So that was 69. And then we went to Arkansas.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They were working in construction.
Actually, that wasn't in East Bay. That was Lincoln City.
Lincoln City.
Yeah.
It was just a summer or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, and we'd already moved back to Winston, Dillard,
Dylan.
and but yeah, that's right. We staged from there, I guess. Yeah, they were waiting on that guy to pay him. Remember the name of the guy? Palmer was his name. Yeah. He was the contractor that was. I mean, what it was Lincoln City got hit with some super straight winds, and that's what they were doing was working. Dad and Ted were working on these places, and of course Palmer turned out to be a crook. Dad had to take him to the state labor or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then they got whatever they could get and then moved to Arkansas. Yeah, life is tough when you're down. And then we moved down here.
Yeah. So I had to be 70, right?
Well, it was 72, but it was just let's see, it was the end of 72, because I finished high school at Derrick's. I mean, ninth grade at Derrick's,
Right.
and then that's when Dad found that place by Blue Bayou. We moved over there.
Right. Locksburg Highway.
Yeah.
And then Ted Nev lived down that road there.
Yeah, Blue Bayou Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was John Wesson's grandparents' place.
It was an old place. For
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that land is, what do they call it? Heritage Farm. Some friends of ours told us about it. That well, it was John and his wife, Wesson. John's married to, can't think of her name. Anyhow, they were telling us about that. They get a break on their property because it's legacy property, family legacy property, and some kind of break. I don't know, but they said, yeah, and you get a certificate from the governor, and the governor presents it to you, and I'm like, I don't want shit from Sarah. I told Liz, I says, I don't care, but I don't want anything.
Just mail it to me. If
Yeah.
it saves me a coin, just mail it to me.
I do not want to even
Underneath
face.
the palm.
That'd be kind of cool. Hand it to me. I just take it and tear it up, throw it in her face. I don't need this shit
Just
from
let
you.
my tax report
Yeah.
reflect
Yeah,
discount
yeah.
credits.
But anyhow, yeah, that's where they lived.
Yeah.
I remember Gary and Diane, of course, they meandered on out. Yeah.
Right.
And
Center Point Highway.
yeah, well, they lived with us for a little while.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then I remember Gary got drunk. He was mad at Diane, and he was at Ted Nev's, that place, and he had that '67 Ford Fairlane, and scooted out of the driveway and just smacked that tree. I think that was the end of the Fairlane.
There's a center.
Yeah, I like Gary, but we came from a shitty family.
Yeah.
Kind of a family reminds me of a book called Sometimes a Great Notion.
What was that? That was a lumber.
Yeah, it was a family of tree fallers,
Tree
basically. Yeah, yeah, it was written by Ken Kesey. But yeah, it's just whatever kind of family they were. And the closest to that book I ever ran into was a family outside of Coquille, the Gilkeys. Yeah, I've told you about them before. Dewey Gilkey was my buddy in high school and everything.
Can I have one this?
There were,
Do I have any large ones down?
let's see, there were, I want to say 7 boys.
Oh, yeah.
And they all their first names started with D.
D.
I made
Yeah.
it out. There you go, baby.
And then you ran into him
I ran into,
many years down the road.
what was it, Danny. No, not Danny. Danny was the oldest. Not Daryl. I want to say Denny. Might have been Denny. Anyhow, yeah, when I was working for the Air Force, we had a conference out in McGuire Air Force Base, and I was part of 20th Air Force at the time. And so we go out there and, no, we were staying, I'm sorry, not staying at McGuire. We were staying at, the base where they fly in all the caskets and all the the folks that die overseas and stuff. Dover. We were at Dover Air Force Base. But anyhow, we get in next morning. We go down to where the conference was going to start, and we kind of had a mingle and stuff like this. I see my boss, who's he's a rated pilot, so they could all wear their jumpsuits, and stuff like that. I was talking to this young captain, and he's in his jumpsuit and everything. And so I'm talking to this guy, and all of a sudden Butch goes, "Joe, come over here, get over here." I'm like, "Okay," so I come over and says, "Joe, I'd like you to meet, I want to say Denny Gilkey, but I don't think I can't think of his name right now. But anyhow, Gilkey." And I look at his name, and I'm like, "Gilkey?" He says, "Yeah." Butch goes, "Yeah, he's from Oregon too." And I looked at him, I says, "You're not from Coquille, are you?" And he almost shit his pants. He goes, "How do you know that?" I says, "Because I've been to your house." And he goes, "You have?" And I says, "Yeah. Dewey was my friend in high school." And Butch is like, I should have looked at him and said, "Yes, I know everything." He's like, "You gotta be kidding." I says, "Yeah, I met, I went out there one weekend and met everybody." I says, "Butch, his entire family, I think I said 7 boys, and their first name all starts with D." And he's like, I says, yeah, I lived in Coquille for a couple of years. Freaked him right out,
You probably couldn't fly for at least a day or two.
He was a C-141 pilot. Oh, yeah.
That's a big plane.
Yeah. I don't think they even use them anymore. But yeah, that was kind of fun. Small world, boy. Talk about a small world. You know what gets me is, even though the world is so small, and as many airports as I've been in, I have never walked in on somebody I know.
No.
I mean, I'm sure they're in there, just didn't get to go past them.
Yeah.
Never. I mean,
well, and that one, that's a once in a lifetime.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I told him, I said, "Tell Dewey, Joe Green said hi." And, but yeah, that was cool. Family, like I said, they're closer to sometimes a great notion. Dad was a 6'9", lumberjack, real stuff.
Yeah.
Real lumberjack, okay? He fell trees for a living, okay? And those are trees out there. Yeah. And Mom, like a 4'9" redheaded Irish woman, and I'm telling you, she ruled the roost.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ruled the roost. And they set up and fly right around Mom. Because she had backup.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah.
So, great family, good folks, lived out in the woods. I mean, I'm sure they've got a lot of these "don't tread on me," but, just smart. Oh my God, those kids were smart.
Yeah.
Dewey was intelligent. And, but I enjoyed being out there. But he says, "Yeah, come out, stay the weekend with me." So Dad took me out there. I mean, we get off of Highway 42 and we turn onto this road and we're just like, they live up on the hill. I said, "Well, that's where okay." And so you know how it was there. Dewey goes, "Let's go fishing." Okay, so we go down there, and this is before I knew about how things worked in that area. I says, "Well, are we going to get some poles?" "Nah, we'll just cut our own." And I've got some string and hooks and stuff like that. "Well, what about bait?" "Well, we'll just dig it up, And man, we're catching little salmon about that big, and trout and stuff like that. That was the way the game went. We used to do it right on that little tributary that went to Coquille River. Right behind the house, right next to the high school, catching salmon.
Back when it wasn't regulated?
Yeah.
Per
Well, it's
se?
probably regulated, but
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about it.
We
Bunch
didn't
of kids.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Coquille was interesting.
Well, strong, get out of here.
Yeah, got a probing to do.
Yeah. That's at 1:30. Kara goes, well, I'll go with you. Okay, it's just a consultation. It's not, you know, I guess I need a blessing to get probed.
Okay, now watch how I get up now.
All
I
right.
couldn't do this the other day. So,
1, 2.
and these are real low chairs.
We'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us in our Brothers Bullshit Breakfast.
Peace out.
Peace out, bro.